Listen, let me tell you what really happened with Meghan and Harry at the World Series. Oh, the irony. The same couple who spent years begging for privacy, suing newspapers, lecturing the world about boundaries, suddenly popped up at the loudest, most televised event in America, the World Series. Picture it. Los Angeles. Flashing lights, stadium packed to the brim. It's Game 4, the kind of night when every camera in the country is rolling. And right there in the best seats money can buy were Harry and Meghan. Not in the quiet VIP box. Oh no, front row. Cameras zooming in every few minutes, matching Dodgers' blue outfits like they were auditioning for a baseball-themed reality show. They didn't sneak in. They announced themselves sitting right behind home plate. Prime position worth tens of thousands where the camera catches every smile, every wave, every side eye. Harry and Meghan. Two people who want privacy but can't stop turning life into a photo shoot. Because really, nothing says leave us alone quite like making your grand return on America's biggest stage. Now, here's where the night gets spicy. Harry and Meghan weren't just in the front row. They were in front of living legends. Right behind them sat two icons. Sandy Koufax, a literal baseball god, and Magic Johnson, Lakers royalty, and one of the most respected men in Los Angeles. We're talking decades of legacy, billions in business, the definition of earned fame. And in front of them, Harry, the man whose biggest sports highlight was losing to his brother at polo. And Meghan, once a Toronto Blue Jays fan, now suddenly Dodger blue for life. People couldn't believe their eyes. It was a scene that said everything about Hollywood hierarchy. The old royalty, Magic and Sandy, quietly watched as the self-declared modern royals took the spotlight. And for the crowd, that didn't sit right. Not in a city that knows the difference between earned applause and borrowed fame. Now, here's where it gets deliciously funny. Every few minutes, the stadium camera found Meghan, and she was ready. All smiles, perfect posture, glowing under the stadium lights. She waved to no one in particular, scanning for the nearest lens like a heat-seeking missile. Harry, on the other hand, his body language told another story. Shoulders tight, smile thin, eyes darting everywhere except the crowd. He looked like a man trapped in a movie he didn't audition for. It became a rhythm. Camera pans to Meghan, dazzling grin. Camera pans to Harry, polite hostage. By the third inning, even fans were whispering that the couple seemed less interested in baseball and more in making an appearance. And let's be honest, they weren't there to watch home runs. They were there to be seen. Meghan knew where the camera was before it even turned. Her instinct was flawless. But Harry, oh Harry, he sat quietly, hands clasped, doing his best to play along. But behind the smile, you could almost read his thoughts. How did I end up here? And that's where the mood started to shift because what happened next was absolutely shocking. The crowd, the cameras were all building to one unforgettable moment that would turn the stadium from starstruck to ice cold. And then it happened. The camera zoomed in. The giant jumbotron flickered. And boom, there they were. Harry and Meghan, front and center, larger than life on the screen above 50,000 people. For a split second, the crowd gasped. Then came the sound no celebrity ever wants to hear. Boos. Not polite claps. Not soft murmurs. Boos that rolled through the stadium like a wave. Some people swore it was more of a stunned silence. Others said it was brutal. Either way, it was icy. Imagine spending years trying to make the world care about you. And when they finally see your face, they look away. That was the energy in Dodger Stadium that night. The prince and princess of privacy looked like deer in headlights. Meghan tried to recover with that trademark smile, the one that says everything's fine. But it didn't land. Harry shifted in his seat, forcing a grin that melted into awkward nothing. Sources who were there said even the players could feel the tension. It wasn't hate. It was fatigue. People were tired of the performance. One moment they were global royalty. The next they were just two strangers on the big screen getting the cold shoulder from Los Angeles. Now let's call it what it was. A PR disaster in real time. They'd walked into the perfect storm. Just months earlier, Harry's memoir, Spare, painted him as a man haunted by flashbulbs and photographers, the trauma of being hunted by the press. Yet here he was, smiling under stadium lights, surrounded by cameras from every angle. It looked less like healing and more like contradiction. A source close to a major PR firm later whispered that this appearance was meant to be a soft re-entry into the spotlight. A casual, relatable date night to show they were just like everyone else. Instead, it backfired spectacularly. Every smile looked staged, every wave rehearsed. The public didn't see a carefree couple. They saw strategy. And the irony, the same cameras Harry blamed for ruining his peace of mind were now his best friends again. Maybe the trauma comes with a press pass, one insider joked. But there was no laughing on his face that night. He looked hollow, like someone who realized the spotlight doesn't warm, it burns. Then came the next question. Everyone whispered. Why were they even there? Neither Harry nor Meghan has ever cared about baseball. Harry probably thought a pitcher was someone who served tea. And Meghan, she once bragged about being a die-hard Toronto Blue Jays fan back in her Suits days. Canada was her heart, remember? But that night, she was dressed head to toe in Dodgers blue. Hat, jacket, smile, all perfectly coordinated. It wasn't fandom. It was branding. Allegedly, word from the PR circles was that the Dodgers game was chosen because of its reach. Millions of viewers, endless camera pans, celebrity crowd. The goal? To place them back in the public eye as fun, American, and totally normal. Except it didn't feel normal at all. It felt curated. And as the boos faded into murmurs, one thing became clear. This wasn't a comeback moment. It was exposure. Raw, unfiltered, and a little tragic. Now, here's the thing about relatable family outings. They usually include the family, but not this one. Archie and Lilibet were nowhere to be seen. No little jerseys, no cotton candy, no tired kids on Dad's shoulders. It was just the two of them smiling for the cameras while everyone else whispered, "Wait, where are the children?" Word from the stands was that some parents found it odd. One woman reportedly said, if they want to look like a normal LA family, maybe actually act like one. And she wasn't wrong. Harry and Meghan have built their brand around compassion and parenthood. The hands-on mom, the protective dad. But when the perfect photo op arrived, the family part didn't make the cut. Harry sat stiff, glancing around like he wished he could melt into the concrete. Meghan, meanwhile, was performing happiness like it was a Broadway show. Two people, same seats, different worlds. If there was ever a moment that showed the gap between their image and their reality, it was right there under the Dodger Stadium lights. And then, poetic justice, the Dodgers lost. Within hours, fans joked that the team had been markled. The memes were merciless. They should have paid them to stay home. The Blue Jays won tonight. Coincidence? I think not. But underneath the humor was something sharper. Every time they appear, chaos seems to follow. Failed launches, canceled deals, awkward headlines. Now, even baseball wasn't safe. Some say it was just bad luck. Others whispered that the universe has a sense of humor. But what everyone agreed on was this. Their presence changed the atmosphere because in Hollywood, silence is deadly. And that night, the loudest thing in Dodger Stadium wasn't the crowd or the game. It was the sound of people not cheering. For two people who've built their lives on being seen, invisibility might be the cruelest punishment of all. In that frozen moment, the truth was impossible to ignore. This wasn't about baseball. It wasn't even about fame. It was about relevance. Because what began as an escape from royal duty has become a chase for American visibility. A performance with no pause button. Each public sighting feels less like living and more like marketing. Harry, the soldier who once stood for service, now standing for photo ops. Meghan, the actress who once played a role, now living one full-time. They came to Dodger Stadium searching for connection and left as a cautionary tale about what happens when the performance never ends. Because make no mistake, the story isn't over. Hollywood doesn't end tragedies, it reboots them. So, as the night closed on that awkward, glittering, game-soaked spectacle, one thought echoed for them louder than any boo. Maybe they didn't lose the crowd. Maybe they lost the plot. And somewhere in Montecito, as another camera lens waits in the driveway.